people that are coming in being trusted to be to have free reign in the house, and they're stealing jewelry, and they're stealing cash, and they're stealing credit cards and other things.
A warning for citizens on Longboat Key, why police say you should be checking who's servicing your home. And a Manatee County man missing, why his family feel the police haven't done enough. And how an executive order signed by Governor Rick Scott could impact your day at the beach. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. New at 11, police in Longboat Key have seen an increase in contractors and other home improvement workers stealing jewelry and other items from homes. ABC7's Rick Adams has more on what's been happening in that island community.
Well, these types of crimes are happening in neighborhoods just like this one here on Longboat Key. Police are urging folks to be extra careful and aware when someone is working in or around your home. Jewelry, cash, and other items have been walking from some people's homes on Longboat Key, and in a lot of those cases, it's come at the hands of service people who are working at the home.
We've had some incidents where a repairman would come in and have free reign in the house without being accompanied by the homeowner, and helped himself to some items that he found.
Police say hundreds of thousands of dollars in valuables have been stolen from homeowners by these service workers in different parts of Longboat Key. No victims were available to talk with us. Chuck Ford, a part-time resident of Longboat Key, says he's very cautious with who he hires. Following Hurricane Irma, he found someone who is trustworthy and reputable to repair extensive roof damage. Ford tells us he's shocked at what's been happening on their quiet island.
It is very surprising, and I'll tell you that there's other things that crime has increased here because there's more and more people discovering this little community.
Surveillance cameras and license plate recognition has helped track down these suspects, and Longboat Key police are currently in the middle of a few other investigations. They say there are certain things you can do to avoid becoming a victim, including making sure you've done your due diligence in hiring somebody.
What we're trying to do is just encourage people to use more common sense, and just when a person comes into your home that you don't know, just either accompany these people around the house while they're doing their job, and leave fewer items in plain view of value.
And if you've had issues with someone stealing from your home, you're being asked to contact your local authorities immediately. Reporting from Longboat Key, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is only now making it public that a 37-year-old Bradenton man has been missing since May 25th. Deputies say his disappearance is suspicious, but there's no evidence of foul play. His parents say they had to visit the Sheriff's Office repeatedly before a missing persons report was even filed. They believe foul play is involved and want the Sheriff's Office to take the case seriously.
I mean, we got people calling in, we've had rallies, and not one officer has showed up to say this is what we're doing, or this is what we're not going to do, or this is what we can do. There's been no police involvement in the rallies that we've been having or anything.
Anyone with information on Joyner's whereabouts is asked to contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office at 941-747-3011. A rally is planned for tomorrow to bring awareness to red tide. One Florida group is planning the rally to try and help our waters before things get worse. Save Our Fisheries has thousands of followers on their Facebook page who plan to be in attendance this Saturday. They will be meeting in Punta Gorda's La Ashley Park and driving to Clewiston's public boat ramp. The rally is taking place to not only spread awareness of what exactly is taking over our waters, but to push for changes in Florida's water management policies. Organizers say that this red tide bloom is not only killing thousands of fish, but is affecting our air quality and can make property values drop along the coast. A Bradenton child ends up in the emergency room after allegedly being left behind on a hot playground at summer camp. His mother now warning parents and accusing camp counselors of negligence. Amika Collins and her son were at a playground when they saw a child sleeping alone. Collins asked the boy for his mother's number, which he luckily knew by heart. It appears the child was one of about 180 kids who goes to GT Bray Park for summer camp, and this past Wednesday he was left behind. The boy's mother is now demanding an explanation from those who run the camp. The program's director admitted that the staff miscounted the children before they were brought inside. The boy was taken to the hospital, and his mother says the doctor said he was severely dehydrated and had heat exhaustion. But one good thing did come out of that day, a forever friendship.
I don't think it was a coincidence that we were supposed to be swimming and laughing and playing, and instead thunder and lightning literally shook us over to the playground instead.
She is my son's guardian angel, because if she wouldn't have found him, he might not be here today.
The boy is now out of the hospital, and 48 hours later is starting to feel better. Needless to say, he will not be returning to summer camp. A new controversial state law allows owners of beachfront property to restrict public access. But now Governor Rick Scott has changed his mind about that law that he just signed into effect. The governor signing an executive order putting a ban on the law critics fear would limit public access to Florida's beaches. The law takes away a local government's ability to overrule private property owners if they try and kick people off of the beach. Scott's order now urges local governments to protect public beach access.
I don't believe it was necessary to begin with, since the mean high water line is where folks are allowed to walk anyway.
The law went into effect earlier this month, just 12 days before Scott signed the executive order. Well, it's peak season for lightning storms here in Florida, and local lifeguards want you to be aware. So far this summer, one person here on the Sun Coast was fatally struck by lightning near Siesta Key Beach. That lightning strike hit a pair of keys hanging on a young man's belt loop, killing him and leaving his family in complete shock. Lifeguards are warning beachgoers to pack lightly and not to wait until the very last minute to leave the beach once they see rain clouds rolling in.
This device right here is called a sky scan, and it lets us know about severe thunderstorms, and it has lights that go off. So when we start getting around the 8 to 20 mile range, we're very concerned. We would like to have them off the beach by the time it gets within 8 miles.
Routh says when lightning gets that close, he flies a double red flag, meaning that everyone should seek shelter in an enclosed building or a car. Now remember, a single bolt of lightning can travel at speeds up to 60,000 miles per hour and can be 54,000 degrees. That's almost 5 times hotter than the sun. And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan tells us again and again, if you see that lightning, to get indoors. Let's check in with him. What can we expect for the weekend, Bob?
Well, watching that story, a couple of things come to mind. For one, that lightning scan thing that he had, that's basically a lightning detection based on the sound that it creates, and we have that on our weather app. So you really don't need to get that one. You can have your weather app and have the same feature, in fact. And typically, lightning can travel up to 12 miles away from where it's raining. So if you can hear the thunder, you're close enough to getting hit by lightning. And as you said, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, the surface that is, not the interior portion of it. You can actually cause trees to explode if they hit the trees. So that is very dangerous. And that lightning didn't just pick on the keys of that gentleman out on Siesta Key. It went through the metal object, but he was in the wrong position, obviously, during that storm. Titan radar picture showing we had some lightning earlier well inland. That has now since moved, that surface boundary has moved out into the Gulf of Mexico. One lone shower there. I suspect we may see a few more scattered storms firing up here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico as that boundary layer has made it all the way out here now. And not a lot of activity expected out there in the Gulf overnight. You can see the rainfall amounts were pretty impressive in some areas. Near Bayshore Gardens, they finally got some rainfall there at 3/10 of an inch, and lesser amounts as you push to the east of that, but 5/100 of an inch or 5/10 of an inch right there at State Road 70 and I-75. In Northport, 2/10 of an inch came down pretty quickly there with some lightning. You can see that rain did stretch west of I-75. We're in for a few morning showers, late morning, early afternoon near the coast, and then the main focus will be inland later on in the afternoon. 79, the current temperature. It feels like 82 degrees right now, so still very warm out there. The dew point remains high at 74. Your day planner looks like this. Scattered showers are possible late morning, early afternoon, like we just saw. Temperatures will warm into the upper 70s, or be in the upper 70s when we start off, upper 80s to near 90 degrees by 3 o'clock with a few scattered showers around. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. Former Democratic U.S. Representative Gwen Graham says the decisions made in the November election could determine whether Florida strips away abortion rights. She told a group of women today that the fact that she's the only woman among the 7 major candidates seeking to replace Republican Governor Rick Scott puts her in the best position to preserve them. Graham said abortion rights guaranteed in Roe v. Wade will probably be overturned if Brett Kavanaugh, President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court, ends up on the bench. That will leave states to decide whether to take away or protect abortion rights. She said the election is important for two reasons. The next governor could veto an abortion ban passed by a Republican-led legislature, and because 3 Florida Supreme Court justices are soon to be retiring. Well, he served his country, but for this U.S. veteran, a wish is granted before something life-altering happens to him. Jeff Lennox has his story.
Hey, tell me again,
6 days a week.
Mr. Gold, tell me again, because I forgot to hit the red button. How old are you again?
88.
He's 88.
Korean War vet Stanley Gold asking Pembroke Pines police for a special request, and they made it happen.
No, I can't, it's still black.
Gold reached out to the department to ask if he could look through their night vision goggles before he goes completely blind.
You ready to go to work?
I already spent 37 years in the post office.
Approved, I guess.
The vet only has 25% of his vision left, but before losing his sight completely, he wanted to catch a glimpse of what it is like to look through the Pembroke Pines SWAT team's goggles. So the SWAT team packed up their gear and headed to Gold's house to make his dream come true.
I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'2", and 190, but I look like a peanut compared to them.
I'm glad to see you're enjoying your retirement.
I am.
Kind of creeping me out looking at me like that.
After letting Gold tinker with the goggles for a while and snapping a few pictures with his family, it was time for the SWAT team to get back to work. But before leaving, the 88-year-old giving them a little treat, some ice cream bars for the road. This gesture, a thank you for helping him accomplish a dream.
I was thrilled. I was completely thrilled that they came. I mean, one person would have come, I would have been thrilled. But to see 5 of them coming to my office, in my house with their uniforms on, it was really great.
What a heartfelt story for this Friday evening. Well, straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, 12 Russians were indicted today for interfering with the 2016 presidential election. What impact will this have on President Trump's scheduled meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin? And were voters here in Florida hacked during the election? We'll have the response of the Florida Department of State after a quick break.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
Bob, the weekend is here. A lot of people probably already celebrating the weekend this evening, and it wasn't too bad. It was pretty warm out there.
I'm sure some people are already. Yeah, we had some big storms in some places. I was in Northport visiting my parents, and it came down pretty heavy there for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and had a lot of lightning too, and it was a little bit earlier than normal. So we're going to see this kind of pattern stick around too. And what that means is, look out, we could see some showers and some thunderstorms. Even at 11 o'clock in the morning will not be out of the question near the coast. Here's what's going on. Casey Keno, this is Tower Cam, and I'm going to show you this beautiful sunset tonight. You'll see just spectacular colors as the sun gets below the horizon. We had some high clouds left over from the clouds and storms that were inland. They kind of pushed out into the Gulf, and look at that. Is that spectacular or what? 2 nights in a row now we've had such a wild looking sunset here. And photos, they came, plenty of them. Anna Maria City Pier, that's not Anna Maria City Pier, but we had plenty of photos. I will post them on mysuncoast.com. Well, here's the story. Late morning and early afternoon thunder showers and storms near the coast. So that'll happen near the coast. And then the main focus will be east of I-75 later in the afternoon, with 1 or 2 of those storms making it back toward the coast in the late afternoon. It will be hot, as you would expect this time of year. Heat index up near 100 degrees to 105. And it'll start early, too. It'll start to feel very warm. Even at sunrise, say 8 o'clock in the morning, the heat index will be up near the mid to upper 80s. And then as far as the week ahead goes, more storms are scattered about each and every day. So the summer pattern continues. It's a little bit different than our normal summer pattern in that high pressure is right over the top of us and at the surface, and so that allows for some very light winds. And if we don't get the east winds in the morning, and that usually butts up against the sea breeze in the afternoon, we have the big storms fire up, and then they carry back toward the coastline in the late afternoon. That's not the case lately. We're having the sea breeze effect, bring in some showers near the coast, and then those push inland in the late afternoon. Now that outflow boundary has made it all the way out into the Gulf now, and a few showers could pop up there with a warm water temperature at 87 degrees. A little dry air around today. There's some African dust making its way across the Gulf of Mexico now, all the way from Africa. Very fine particles and particulate matter. It makes for a great sunset, too. And that's the reason why we've seen these spectacular sunsets, is because of the clouds, but also the dust in the atmosphere. And that is heading over toward Texas for the weekend. For us, a little bit more moisture coming back into play. And so we'll see a few more storms around, but it's not going to be a washout or a rain out. There'll be a few scattered storms in the morning, and then they start to push inland. But notice 1 or 2 still near the coast, even in the early afternoon hours, with the heavier storms in the central portion of the state eventually fading away again. And similar conditions expected for Sunday, with a few showers in the morning as the sea breeze moves inland. The heavier storms expected into central Florida. Now, as far as the winds go, they will be light and fairly variable throughout the day on Saturday. So not much push to the storms at all. Sometimes they'll go to calm, so not much wind for your sail either. And that 34 was not right. But we will see some strong gusts with some of the isolated storms that may be around. With some of the cells, especially in the early afternoon hours. 81 degrees right now in Jacksonville, 77 in Orlando. 77s seem to be popular in Sebring and Lake Placid and Arcadia, as well as Punta Gorda. Low 80s still at this hour along the coast. The water temperature there it is at 87 degrees. 79 right now with a heat index at 82. And the high today warmed to 91 degrees, 76 was the morning low. Well, here's the forecast for boaters tomorrow. I mentioned calm conditions out there, a light chop, and here's the forecast for 7-day. 30% chance scattered storms. There'll be some around. Not everyone's going to get the rain, though. 40% on Sunday, a little bit better. High temperatures staying at 90 degrees and fairly average rain chances throughout the work week next week. Just the timing a little bit different with those late morning and early afternoon storms along the coast being the main focus. Jacqueline, back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. A statement from the White House on the indictment of 12 Russians by the Mueller probe says there is no allegation of knowing involvement by anyone in the Trump campaign. The president is still calling the Russia investigation a witch hunt, but promises to tell Russian leader Vladimir Putin to stay out of future elections. CNN's Jim Acosta has more details.
As the president was greeted by Queen Elizabeth and holding talks with British Prime Minister Theresa May, Mr. Trump was again met with the unwelcome guest that never seems to leave his side, the Russia investigation.
I think that we're being hurt very badly by the, I would call it the witch hunt. I would call it the rigged witch hunt.
At a news conference, the president again slammed the Russia probe, despite the fact that he had been briefed earlier this week that the Justice Department was preparing an indictment against 12 Russians accused of hacking in the 2016 election.
The president is fully aware of the department's actions today.
On the defensive, the White House released a statement noting today's charges include no allegations of knowing involvement by anyone on the Trump campaign and no allegations that the alleged hacking affected the election result. This is consistent with what we've been saying all along. The president said he would raise the issue of election meddling when he meets with Russian leader Vladimir Putin on Monday.
I know you'll ask, will we be talking about meddling? And I will absolutely bring that up. I don't think you'll have any, gee, I did it, you got me. There won't be a Perry Mason here, I don't think.
Still, Mr. Trump complained the Russia investigation complicates his relationship with Moscow.
We do have a political problem where, you know, in the United States we have this stupidity going on, pure stupidity, but it makes it very hard to do something with Russia. Anything you do, it's always going to be, oh, Russia, he loves Russia. I love the United States.
As the president said at the NATO summit, he wants to be friends with Putin.
He's not my enemy, and hopefully someday maybe he'll be a friend. It could happen.
But the president told CNN he will insist that the Russians cease their attacks on American democracy.
Mr. President, will you call Putin to stay out of U.S. elections?
Yes.
Following the NATO summit where he outraged some U.S. allies, Mr. Trump irritated his hosts in Britain, criticizing the prime minister's handling of Brexit to the Sun tabloid.
I would have done it much differently. I actually told Theresa May how to do it, but she didn't agree with it. She didn't listen to me. She wanted to go a different route.
In a rare moment of contrition, the president said he was sorry.
Because when I saw her this morning, I said, I want to apologize because I said such good things about you.
But there were no apologies from the president for his harsh rhetoric on immigration, after saying he believes immigrants are changing the fabric of Europe.
And I know it's politically not necessarily correct to say that, but I'll say it, and I'll say it loud. And I think they better watch themselves because you are changing culture. It's a very sad situation. It's very unfortunate, but I do not think it's good for Europe, and I don't think it's good for our country.
All eyes will be on the president to see if he will mention elections to Putin. Many experts also want him to demand Putin turn the indicted Russians over to the U.S. And the Florida Department of State put out a statement on the 2016 election results here in Florida, saying, quote, to be clear, the 2016 elections in Florida was not hacked in any way. As we have stated multiple times, the Department of State was notified by the Department of Homeland Security in September of 2017 that Florida was unsuccessfully targeted by hackers in 2016. This attempt was not in any way successful, and Florida's online elections databases and voting systems remained secure. The department is focused on the continued security and integrity of Florida's elections in 2018 and beyond. We'll stay with us. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, I'm back, baby! Kathy Griffin's here and anything can happen.
Get out of here!
And get to know Jim Jeffries.
I did not know that about you. Why would you?
Plus Vance Joy on the outdoor stage. Emmy-nominated Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, Contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now, sports.
The Tampa Bay Rays starting pitcher Blake Snell has been named to the American League roster for Tuesday's All-Star Game. The MLB confirming he will replace Cleveland Indians starter Corey Kluber. Snell was looked upon as the biggest snub from the Midsummer Classic when the rosters were announced on Sunday. The 25-year-old is 12-5 with 134 strikeouts and 119 innings. Three-time Pro Bowl running back DeMarco Murray announcing his retirement today after 7 seasons in the NFL. The 30-year-old running back was cut by the Tennessee Titans in March. Murray led the NFL in rushing in 2014 and was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year when he played for the Dallas Cowboys. In 2016, Murray led the AFC in rushing with 1,287 yards, but after an injury-plagued 2017, he had a career-low 659 rushing yards. In a record-breaking tennis game in the Wimbledon semifinals today, South African Kevin Anderson is going to the finals after beating American Josh Eisner in a 99-game match that lasted over 6 hours and 36 minutes. The game included 3 tiebreakers over 5 sets. The 99 total games made it the longest Grand Slam semifinal match in the Open era, beating the previous mark of 90 sets in the 1969 Australian Open. Anderson will play the winner of Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic, which was suspended due to curfew today and will resume play tomorrow morning. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable.
G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, Bob, keep those umbrellas handy this weekend just in case. You never really know.
Yeah, for about 4 months usually. You just keep them around. You're going to need them occasionally here. Tomorrow you may get it, you may not. This kind of situation where your neighbor may get an inch of rain and you may not get much at all. So we're going to see scattered storms around, obviously, and it looks like a little bit better chance for some morning showers near the coast and early afternoon as well.
All right, thank you, Bob. And thank you for joining us this evening. We'll see you right back here on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.